Briefing for Tuesday, the 11th of July. I'm Stephen Ridgway. Yesterday, Apple rolled out an urgent software update to iOS and iPad OS. It is addressing some critical vulnerabilities, so I would strongly suggest you check if you're using Apple devices, check to see if the update has reached your device. If not, I would then push it to trigger it to download and install the update. So the CVE is being tracked as CVE 2023 37450. And it is already apparently being exploited. So definitely update your Apple Kit if you have Apple devices. Yet more troubling news from MoveIt. There are three beyond the vulnerabilities that we were all aware about and the one that the Clop ransomware group have been using, three further vulnerabilities have been found, one of which is critical, the other two are high severity. SQL injection vulnerabilities an unhandled exception vulnerability, so two SQL injection and one unhandled exception. So if you are using MoveIt, as a lot of organizations are, troubles are not over yet. If you are running your own systems, look to get them patched and updated ASAP before somebody takes advantage of the MoveIt system. So there is a critical vulnerability that can allow the takeover of Mastodon servers. So there are 5 vulnerabilities which were actually disclosed last week, but have only just come to my attention. 5 vulnerabilities, 2 are rated critical. One of these is CVE 2023 36460, which has a CVSS score of 9.9. And it is an arbitrary file creation issue that can lead to a complete server compromise. So basically, it is possible to send a toot, which is their name for a short form message, which achieves a web shell on the Mastodon instance that processes it. They are calling. I really don't know what these names. They must have such fun coming up with these names. This particular vulnerability is known as Tootroot, and its exploitation could provide attackers with root access to Mastodon servers. The next vulnerability on there is a cross-site scripting vulnerability. Just trying to have a look if there's anything interesting on the others. No, nothing else particularly exciting. All 5 vulnerabilities were resolved in versions 4.1.3, 4.0.5, and 3.5.9. So if you are running a Mastodon server, strong recommendation to check to see if you're on one of these versions, and if not, apply patches, do the upgrades, and get on top of this before it gets on top of you. And then finally from me today, quite short today, not a great deal of exciting news going on, but the European Union has, as of yesterday, signed off on a new agreement over the privacy of people's personal information that gets shipped across to the USA. So the EU-US data privacy framework is applying what's described as an adequate level of protection for personal data, according to the EU Commission. It means that it's compatible to the 27 nations own stringent data, as in GDPR. So it's it is going to get round some of these issues and some of the fines that we've spoken about recently, where the EU regulators have fined some very large organisations for sending the PII, which is very broadly defined, to the US. Well, that should all be over now, so long as the organisations stick to the rules of this new agreement, which is a little bit of good news, seeing as data transfer restrictions are not good for business and so on and so forth. So looking good in that respect. Well, that's all from me for today. I hope you have a really good Tuesday, and I will speak to you again tomorrow morning.